Traditional media channels. Media strategy involves analyzing and choosing media for an advertising and promotions campaign. Choosing the best media to speak to our potential customers, it's challenging. It involves matching a target audience to the media audience of specific programs. Media planning begins with a really careful analysis of the target market. We really want to understand the process that our target market uses when they're making purchases, the consumer behavior events that guide those choices. It involves studying the media choices that the target market makes and understanding their listening habits and their viewing habits. And we want to match the media to the target market. So for example, if we are appealing to baby boomer generation, we would not use Instagram. Similarly, if we were targeting teenagers, we would not use magazines. As we, as marketers, put together our media plan, there are several components that this plan would include. A marketing analysis. This provides a comprehensive review of the marketing program and where advertising fits into the plan. An advertising analysis. This states the primary strategy of the advertising and the budget that will be used, as well as the objectives of the advertising plan. The media strategy, this spells out the media that we're going to use and the creative considerations. The media schedule is the part of the media plan that notes when and where ads will appear. The media planning concludes with a justification of the media plan as well as a summary of it. The primary task of the media planner is conducting research that matches the product or the service to the media and the target market. The account executive, account planners, and media buyers, they all work very closely with the media planners. The creative needs to know which media will be used and even the media vehicle as the ad is being prepared. The media buyer takes the media plan and then actually purchases the space and the time. It's important for us as marketers to know the advertising terminology. So the reach measures the number of people, households, or businesses in a target market who are exposed to our ad during a specific time. Frequency is the average number of times an individual is exposed to a particular advertisement. So if we have a billboard, how many times is our target market driving past and noticing our billboard? Opportunities to see, this refers to the cumulative exposures over a given time period. And gross rating points measure the impact or the intensity of a media plan. So that's calculated by multiplying a vehicle's rating by the OTS. Cost for media is often per 1,000. This allows for marketers to make easy comparisons across vehicles and even media. Ratings measure the percentage of a target market that is exposed to a medium. Cost per rating point, this allows for comparisons across the media. And it's calculated by dividing the cost of the media by to their rating. An alternative is to use the weighted CPM. So here we multiply the cost of the media by 1,000, then divide by the actual audience reached. Continuity. This refers to the exposure pattern or schedule used in a campaign. So a continuous campaign uses media in a steady stream throughout the campaign. Pulsating has expenditures throughout the entire campaign, but will also have bursts of extra spending. Flighting, this spends money on media at different times during the campaign and none at other times. Gross impressions represent the total exposure of an audience to an advertisement. If an ad was shown 4 times on a television show with an audience of 2 million people, then the gross total impressions would be 8 million. The 3 exposure hypothesis states that it takes at least 3 exposures to an ad for it to have any effect. So we need to see a commercial 3 times, or drive past a billboard 3 times, or hear a radio ad 3 times. It's also based on the idea that advertising has an intrusive value, that viewers will pay attention to an ad even if they don't want to. Most advertisers don't feel that 3 exposures are enough, and that advertising today does not always display intrusion value. Consumers, we have selective attention and focus, so we stop paying attention if an ad is not relevant to us. So for example, if you do not need a mattress, when you see advertisements for mattresses, you stop paying attention and you shift your focus somewhere else. It's not until you need the new mattress that you begin to recognize the advertisements. And this kind of selective attention theory is all based on the recency theory. One ad exposure might be enough if it's hitting the right target market at the right time. So again, it's based on the belief that consumers have selective attention, is the recency theory. To achieve a high level of brand recognition, advertisers want to focus on visual presentation of the product. The goal is for the viewers to recognize the ad, the product, and the brand when they are shown the ad. The brand name does not have to be recalled. If advertisers want to increase recall, then the brand does need to be part of the evoked set and in the person's long-term memory. Frequency is more important than reach in enhancing recall. The more they hear the brand name repetition, the more likely they will be remembered. So really it will depend on what are the marketing objectives of the IMC plan. Television, for many years, has had the reputation of being the glamour advertising medium. To some, TV still remains the best medium, but its luster has faded for many products. This table summarizes the advantages and disadvantages of TV. Clutter is the #1 problem facing TV. Channel surfing and shifting to other media are also concerns. Approximately 80% of Americans still listen to radio. Radio still reaches about 93% of Americans. It's really important for smaller local businesses and audiences. They can be segmented based on station format, and many listeners form an attachment to DJs. The major problem with radio is short exposure and low attention. It's often used kind of as background music. Out-of-home media, it's more than just billboards. It could be signs on cabs, buses, park benches, stadiums, arenas, even a blimp flying over a major event. Advances in technology have dramatically changed out-of-home advertising. It has the advantage of geographic selectivity. It's really great for local ads. The problem is it can have a very short exposure time, especially, for example, billboards. So the message has to be extremely brief. Magazines can still be the best choice for advertising. Research shows that magazines are a strong driver of purchase intentions and drive people to visit company websites. They work especially well when they coincide with other media. It allows for you to really segment who it is that your target market is, high quality color, long lifespan. Oftentimes magazines are kept for months and read and reread. However, they are very expensive and there's very little flexibility when you need to modify an ad. Newspapers are still important for local businesses, providing coupons to consumers. They often have a high level of credibility and strong audience interest. They're especially effective for reading older consumers. However, there is a major clutter and a short lifespan of newspapers. They're not kept and reread like magazines. And also the younger consumers typically are not reading them. When we choose our marketing mix, that's saying what is the proper blend of different media outlets for our advertisement. So this is the work of the media planners. It's their task to match the target market with the audience that media reaches and to know what media target markets like to use. The media multiplier effect is essentially 2 + 2 = 5. So it suggests that combining 2 or more media increases the impact of an advertising campaign more than using just one medium by itself. Business-to-business ads are looking more and more like consumer ads. Sometimes it's really difficult to tell if an advertisement is a B2B ad or a consumer ad. Not only has the appearance of business-to-business ads changed, but so has the media. So companies are using more consumer magazines, consumer TV shows, consumer media. And the idea here is to reach business buyers outside of the work environment. So as opposed to, say, a specific trade magazine, trying to find that media buyer where they would typically be consuming media. The importance of different types of media varies widely throughout the world. So for example, Coca-Cola has used hot air balloons to reach consumers in Africa. And media habits of people in other countries are not the same as those here in the US. The media buying process is different, and culture is a major force in these differences.